So, welcome to our special masterclass from trauma to pleasure, from trauma to turn on. I am so deeply honored to be here with you today and really share with you a cutting edge science and cutting edge research on how your body has an incredible potential for healing when you actually deeply understand the ins and outs of sexual trauma and truly what needs to happen at the level of your body and at the level of your nervous system in order to facilitate this deeply healing and positive adaptation that actually allows you to reclaim your pleasure, your orgasm, and of course, your sensuality. So as you're coming on, I'm going to invite you to do one juicy thing for me and for everyone that is here with us, everyone that is watching. I want you to drop me a comment and let me know which part of the world you are tuning from and what is your biggest takeaway, or like the biggest thing that you're hoping to learn or understand or really how would I say it, like bring into your body, bring into your sexuality, bring into your life. So let me know which part of the world you're from and what is the biggest hope that you have for yourself from this training today. So this life training is for you if you have set an intention for 2020, if you set an intention for this new year, that this will be the year of you. This will be the year of your healing, your pleasure, your sensuality, and truly reclaiming yourself from inside out. This is training for you if you know you have sexual trauma and are looking for a true and tested and scientifically based understanding on how to heal your body and how to heal your sexuality so you can actually reclaim your birthright, which is your pleasure. This is also absolutely masterclass for you if you're ready to emerge out of a powerless state of not knowing what to do or being in the loops of victimization into powerful, self-assured, and confident woman. And this is definitely one thing that I'm incredibly excited about and very determined about as a sexual educator, as a sexuality expert, to really help women reclaim their essence and reclaim their power, which is what happens when they actually heal their body and heal their nervous system from sexual trauma. Hi Teresa, hi gorgeous, lovely to see you this evening for me. So once again, if you're just coming on, hi Lily, hi beautiful. If you're just coming on, drop me a comment and let me know which part of the world you are from and what is the one thing that you're hoping to either learn about healing from sexual trauma or create for yourself, create for your body, create for your sexuality. I believe that when you're intentional about your learning and your healing, it really creates the container in which healing and true learning can actually take place, can actually happen. So this is also a training for you if you are like in this loops of pain and discomfort and maybe depression or anxiety, and you're just trying to figure out like what the hell is going on with you. Why are you not healing, or why are you not getting better even though you're trying your level best, maybe yoga and meditation, acupuncture, but you're still in this endless loop of maybe sexual pain or depression or chronic pain, and you are like, I just want to be normal, I just want to be okay. So throughout the training today, I will be throwing some deep truth bombs, and my intention for us today, if you are here with me live or you're watching on replay, amazing. I want to really educate you. I really want to empower you, and I want to help you understand the mechanism of sexual trauma. And I'm super excited to share with you my signature blueprint from trauma to turn on, which is something that I work with my clients and students from all around the world, with incredible breakthroughs and most life-affirming results. So Lily is from Switzerland. Amazing. I love learning about this topic, and I'm very curious about the emotions in the body, as I don't have an easy time to always express them. Amazing. Yes, so we'll be talking about your emotions, we'll be talking about your nervous system, we'll be talking about sexual trauma, and we'll be talking about you reclaiming your pleasure. So the first piece I want to share before I dive into the training, before I dive into everything I want to share with you today, is that this is a heavy topic. Sexual trauma is a heavy topic, and it can bring up emotions. It can bring up, like real intense experience in your body, and that is nothing to be, sort of surprised about. It is an intense topic. So even though I would love for you to be with me all throughout this 1 hour, and I have the opportunity to share everything with you right here, right now, I'm going to invite you to practice basic self-care. And what that means is, first and foremost, you want to make sure you have water, you want to be hydrated, and you will be hydrating yourself throughout this training. You want to have a pen and journal or a laptop, so you can definitely take some notes and deepen your learning. But most importantly, you want to take this in a way that feels doable for your body. So what I mean by that is, when I'll be sharing either my story or any aspects of what is sexual trauma, the signs and symptoms, and this feels intense, or it feels overwhelming, or it feels like too much for you, you have a full permission, what I like to call, be a bad student, quote unquote bad student. You have a full permission to go to the bathroom, maybe take a little 5-minute walk around your home, or go and grab a piece of bread or something to eat and come back to this. And if it means to, coming back to this after 2 hours, after this masterclass is over, or even tomorrow morning, you have a full permission to do that. Once again, this can be intense topic. It can be bringing up intense experiences in your body. So you want to take this in a doable way that feels respectable for you, just right here, just right now. So Teresa says, I want deep spiritual intimate connect with the man, a growing connection. Amazing. That is absolutely, absolutely wonderful. And yes, I've definitely seen that both in my own body and in my own life, and with many of my clients, that when trauma is healed and released at the level of the body and the nervous system, it creates a safety, a deep safety to open your heart and actually feel loved and connected and intimate. So healing sexual trauma actually fosters a deep intimacy and like heals the walls and the barriers, which is amazing. So I would like to ask you a couple of questions to really see where are you at, and really see kind of what stage of your healing journey you are right now. So if any of this sounds true, I'm going to invite you to let me know in the comments below. You can say, yes, that's me, or like, yes, this resonates. Yes, I'm struggling with this, or I have been struggling with this, or like, I can really see myself in this. So I would really, really love to know what is going on for you. So have you ever had the best intentions for stepping into a new year and like really hitting your New Year's resolution, losing weight, meditating, having a clean diet, but then kind of motivation subsides and the resistance kicks in, or you simply like slip into this old way of being? And let us be honest here, it's still January, it's only midway through the January, it's 19th of January. Where are you with your New Year's resolutions? Are you fully committed and like fully plugged on, or are the realities of everyday life just like taking away your agenda and taking away the vision of your life? Do you really crave to feel beautiful from inside out and feel good about yourself in the company of men and women, but deep down you're really struggling with body shame? Maybe you feel really confident when you're well dressed and well groomed, but being naked and like being seen in your naked body brings up a lot of discomfort and a lot of charge for you. Maybe you're someone who has a lot of profound creative gifts that you want to share with the world, but you're really afraid of rejection, you're really afraid of being seen, and the possible ridicule that you might experience if you fully express yourself. Maybe you are a woman that wants to finally claim 2020 to be the year of love and intimacy, but deep down you find it petrifying for men to touch you or to express his love for you, and you might feel even like queasiness around your belly or your heart. Maybe you're a woman who knows that you have been sexually abused, and now you are in your 30s or in your 40s or even 50s, and you feel asexual. You have a lot of fear about sexual intimacy, and even the idea of like sexual intercourse or penetration is making you so incredibly uncomfortable. Maybe you are a woman who has lost her sexual drive. Perhaps at some stage in your life, you had a lot of interest in sex, a lot of drive, but now it feels like it has just been taken away from you, and you're scratching your head and asking yourself, like, what is going on with me? What is going on with my body? Or maybe you are a woman who has what I like to call it like these issues down the belt, maybe lower back pain, pelvic pain, perhaps endometriosis or vulvodynia or vaginismus, and you have tried so many things. You're going to doctors, you're going to specialists, you're doing acupuncture, you're meditating, and you are still in pain. So here is the thing. Wherever you're finding yourself on the spectrum, I want to tell you that you are not alone. I have been in your shoes. I have been in definitely at some stage wherever you're finding yourself, and my own story of struggle. And again, this can be intense. This can bring and activate a lot of intensity for you. So if you need to take care of yourself and move away from the screen and come back in a couple of minutes, that's totally fine. So please do what feels respectful for you. So I was sexually abused as a young teenager, and I was under the spell of sexual abuse for well over 3 years, from 12 to 15. And I think the most painful experience about this was that through the sexual abuse, my body would get aroused. If you think about it from like a sexual development point of view, my body was in a state where I was literally building this sexual arousal networks. So through the sexual abuse, I would be getting aroused and I would be getting sexually excited, but I felt so much shame for my body to be excited in such a horrendous circumstances. So what I would do, I would either dissociate, I would either completely leave and be in some different place, or if I would stay present in my body, I would be literally shoving the shame on top of the pleasure. I was so ashamed of my pleasure. And of course, I was so ashamed of getting turned on. And the hardest thing about all of this was that I was not able to change this. I was not able to break free from the sexual abuse. I was not able to break free from how my body was responding to this. I felt trapped in all of this. I felt trapped in my body. I felt trapped in my sexuality, and I felt trapped in what I was going through. So not surprisingly, I got into drugs, I got into alcohol and food and sex, and I would use any coping mechanism not to feel this horrendous shame that I was getting in my system, that I was getting in my body. And I felt really gross. I felt unworthy. I felt ashamed of myself. I felt unlovable. I felt unattractive. And not surprisingly, in all of this, I became mother at a very young age. I became mother when I was 18. And my son became the light of my day. But unfortunately, he was kidnapped 4 years later. And it was actually the heartbreak of his kidnap that got me into yoga, that got me into meditation, that got me into personal development, which were all great. And they were helping me to deal with the heartbreak of separation with my son. But very soon into that, there's deeper layers begin to emerge. And what I mean by this is I got in a good relationship with a man I love and that loves me, who is now my husband. And this was like the first good relationship of my life. This was what was very likely happening for me on a subconscious level. My subconscious felt safe for the first time in my life to like let this deep trauma and the unworthiness and the unlovability and the sexual trauma to arise to surface. So what would that look like for me is it was very, very hard for me to have sexual intimacy with my husband, even though I loved him and I was very attracted to him. I could only orgasm using a vibrator, but even worse than that, I could only orgasm being connected to shame-based fantasy. And I remember anytime I would orgasm, there was definitely like, physiological relief and comfort, all of that. But I felt so sad. I felt so broken. I felt so like, what is going on with my body? Like, why do I have to reprieve in these painful fantasies that I absolutely can't imagine living them out? But my body, my sexuality had no other way of experiencing the peak of pleasure and orgasm. So there was like this core hunger inside of me. There was a core hunger inside of me to be more open with my husband, to have more desire for him, to experience pleasure in a life-affirming and self-loving way. But I had no tools. I didn't know how to do this. When I was trying to find answers on the internet, there was nothing about this topic. So more and more this was going on, and months and years were passing by. I was literally clueless with my sexuality. I was clueless in how I can ever experience pleasure in a different state, in a different way of being. Now, when I got into my early 30s, I got a severe herniation of my L4, L5, and I got a major nerve damage. And the nerve damage was so severe that I could barely walk. I was a candidate for a surgery. I was candidate for a wheelchair, and I somehow got better through corrective exercises and through a lot of mindful movement. But 2 years later, I got this outburst of unbelievable pelvic pain. And the pelvic pain was so brutal that I could not be upright. I could not sit. The only way I was able to get through my day was crawling on all four. And in my desperation of trying to find a solution, I went to doctors. I went through all the tests. They could not find anything. I went through acupuncture. I did yoga. I did meditation. I went to naturopaths, but no one was able to give me like this long-term reprieve from the pelvic pain. So here I am, woman in her 30s, who like is literally just grinding her teeth every single day to get through her day, and no one is finding answers for her pain. So it was not until I came across my mentor and I actually started to learn about the nervous system, and I started to learn about how trauma gets trapped in the place where the body has been violated. And for me, not surprisingly enough, everything was happening in the pelvis, like L4, L5 is top of the pelvis, then I have pelvic pain, then I have difficulty with orgasm, like everything is happening where my sexual abuse has taken place. And literally for me, learning about my nervous system, first and foremost, gave me the understanding why I am having this soul-destroying pain in my body. And subsequently, just by doing a trauma resolution work and nervous system healing work, my body came back to life. In a space of 8 weeks of doing this work, I literally became pain-free. And not only pain-free, for the first time in my life, I felt trust in myself. I felt trust in my body. I felt safe about my future and really moving forward into the future and like trusting in the longevity of my body. My all pain was gone and I started trusting myself. Now, my next layer in this was really healing the layers of shame and the layers of shame that are connected to my sexuality. And as I started to unwind and heal these layers of shame, I actually begin to experience orgasm in a state of deep self-love and profound relaxation. And it is this most beautiful experience, I believe, myself or any woman on the planet can have. It is so nourishing, it is so healing, and it completely changes woman's experience of her sexuality altogether. So I have a man who loves me, and I can finally receive love from my man. We have a beautiful 2-year-old son, and I am gonna say this, life is pretty amazing. Life is pretty amazing. And this is definitely what I have found true for myself. And I see that with my clients over and over again. It's like when you heal sexual trauma, when you heal your body from sexual trauma, your life becomes amazing. So some of my clients' results, Suzanne, amazing young woman who has endometriosis for many, many years. She has learned to manage the symptoms of her endometriosis. So now she is pain-free and she knows how to take an excellent care of her womb, of her ovaries, and of her entire body. Karina has healed a lifelong shame, and now she has actually opened her heart and opened herself. She has met an amazing man and they are madly in love. My client Allison, who could only, similar like myself, orgasm in a state of painful fantasy, she has rewired her nervous system and heal her pattern of dissociation. And now she's able to fully connect with her body, with her sexuality, and stay fully present in a state of most delicious, whole body nourishing orgasms. So I know that all of this is possible for every woman because there is a science and process to healing sexual trauma. So let us first dive into what sexual trauma is. Let us really define sexual trauma. So sexual trauma or trauma is an embodied violation hangover. Trauma is an embodied violation hangover. So violation is what happened, and trauma is what is left in the body, what is left in the nervous system. So trauma is not the event. It is not what has happened to you. It is not the rape. It is not the incest. It is not the sexual abuse. It is not the sexual harassment. It is the embodied stored energy in your body, in your nervous system. It's a little like this trapped experience in your nervous system that is desperately trying to work itself out. So trauma is not what has happened to you. It is the stored energy of that event that is still running its show in your body. So many times women who will come into my work, they're like, I don't get why I'm so stuck with my intimate relationship or my sexuality. Like all of that happened 30 years ago. Like what the hell is going on with me? And the thing is, there is nothing wrong going on with them. The challenge is they have processed their trauma on a thinking level. They have analyzed it, they have grieved about it, maybe they have done forgiveness processes, but there's still realities in their nervous system that have not been addressed. And until and unless they are not being addressed, it's little like one step forward and 4 steps back. That is this one of the like hallmark of unhealed trauma is feeling stuck with your healing, with your development, not being able to break through. So trauma does not get stored in the thinking mind. Trauma gets stored in the primal brain, and the primal brain, which is your unconscious, communicates through sensations, nervous system experiences, through the body 24/7. That's why addressing sexual trauma through the lenses of body rather than counseling and psychotherapy is a very efficient. You're going to save yourself so much heartache and so much money and so much energy and so much of your life. We all just got one life, right? And we don't know whether we have 3 months in front of us or 30 years in front of us. You're gonna save yourself life. It's a very efficient way to actually addressing trauma. So sexual trauma can really take on a lot of different ways. Many times people think about sexual trauma just as the obvious, like a sexual abuse or rape, but there are actually a lot of different layers. If you think about what I said a moment ago, that trauma is the embodied violation hangover, even something like if maybe your sister or your friend or someone close to you, let's say, has been raped, and you embody their pain, you take on their pain, and suddenly your body is like in this chronic fight or flight response because you are afraid at the level of your subconscious that something bad can happen to you. So sexual trauma is obviously the obvious is a sexual abuse. And what sexual abuse does, it hits women at the very core of their being. So whether sexual abuse is mild or severe within your family or outside of your family, sexual abuse has impact on your ability to be intimate. It has an impact to you're able to surrender to your partner in bedroom. It's going to impact you're able to feel pleasure. I'm talking sexual pleasure, sensations, and even orgasm. So much of kind of like current epidemics. Hi Nancy, hi gorgeous, hi Amanda, lovely to see you here today with me. So much of the epidemics that we have nowadays around, I don't feel anything, I am not aroused, I don't have interest in sex. Yes, it can be related to menopause. Yes, it can be related to hormonal imbalance. But underneath that, more often than not, is the traumatic imprint that is still running its show in the body and in the nervous system. Sexual abuse can also massively impact your ability to have a positive relationship with yourself. I believe the culture we are in, where there is so many women are secretly hating themselves, hating their bodies, they're disconnected from their love and their reverence, actually connects to an earlier experiences of sexual abuse. Now, sexual abuse is also going to impact your healthy sense of boundaries. And boundaries are a massive, massive topic. Actually, I would love to know from you right here, right now, what are your boundaries like? What is your relationship with boundaries? Are you able to have a healthy no? Are you able to insert yourself? Are you able to receive in a healthy way? Receive the exchange of money, love, lust, energy, and resources. I have found in my work that so many women who have been sexually traumatized have real difficulty in asserting themselves. And a big part of that is something that I'll be sharing with you in a moment when we actually get into the dynamics of healing from sexual trauma. So, sexual abuse can comprise of anything that does not respect the natural healthy development of child sexuality. It can be slapping or punishing a child for touching their own genitals. It can be exposure to pornography at a really young age. It can be age-inappropriate sexual jokes or remarks that make kids feel really ashamed of themselves. It can be a genital fondling by parent or sibling. There are so many layers to sexual abuse that once again are not appropriate to the age of child sexual development. Tressa says, I have to practice. Yes, I believe you're talking about boundaries. Yes, boundaries are the key. Now, sexual abuse aside, what can result as a sexual trauma? Obviously, rape, which is this biggest abuse, and violation of rape can cause the entire system to close down. It can also be a medical trauma. Now, this is what gets very little spoken about, but things like hysterectomy can actually be very traumatizing to the system. Things like really bad medical examination in the gynae's office. I have had personally, when I was pregnant with my son, towards the end of pregnancy, I had just such a bad vaginal examination that literally shook me to the core of my being, and I had to, like my body went literally in the survival response that I am like 9 months pregnant, and I literally kicked my gynae. I kicked her and pushed her away, and I said like, no. But in all of that, the speculum was still inside of my vagina. So I actually became quite traumatized at the end of my pregnancy because someone was not paying attention. So any intervention, any medical intervention into your sexuality, into your reproductive system can be very, very traumatizing. And of course, we cannot avoid abortion. Now, I am not saying abortion is right or wrong, but what I want to share is on an emotional level, abortion constitutes of moral struggle. No matter how liberal the views are, the decision is never easy. And I would have, I had a woman in my Flesh Academy a couple of months ago. She was in her 40s, and when we started to do a lot of embodiment work for her womb and for her ovaries, we started to do a self-massage practices and really connect with her womb in an embodied way. She began to feel like this massive tornado of grief coming up. And she basically said to me that, look, in her 20s, she had 2 abortions. She like fully, put that down into her psyche. She didn't want to deal with that. And now with those practices, she literally felt, her body felt safe enough for this grief to start to arise. So that grief, which was for 20 years trapped in her womb, right? The grief doesn't go anywhere. It just stays trapped in the body, but it does not go anywhere. It's absolutely essential. It's absolutely essential to start addressing and feeling and healing these emotions so they are not having impact on the health of your body and of course on your sexuality. So through those practices, her body started to feel safe enough to begin to grieve for something that's happened 20 years ago, and she never addressed that. And it was very healing for her, and was very healing for her womb, and it literally gave her space to process some of this trauma that came from her 2 abortions. So let us dive into the signs, the symptoms, and why you actually really need to heal your sexual trauma. Why is it absolutely essential for you to heal it and address it? So what I want you to know is that when your body perceives threat, when your subconscious perceives threat, your subconscious goes into the life-saving mechanism. Literally, your primal brain is like, okay, let me keep you safe. Let me keep you protected. So after the threat is finished, whether that's you have been in like violent environment, or maybe you saw like a drunk man around you, or you have witnessed car crash, or maybe you've seen even violence on TV, the life-saving mechanism is not finished working itself out. So what that means is you have adrenaline pumping through your system, and you have this life or death energy pulsing through your veins. So when we look at animals in nature, after attack, when they like find safety, when they find a safe place, what they do is they shake, they move, they literally release this intense energy, this adrenaline coursing through their system. They release it from their body, which is what we all should be doing. However, we humans, what we do when something terrifying has happened and we find quote unquote safe space, we actually go into like analyzing the things and processing the things on a thinking level. So you still have the emergency response running through your veins, but you're processing it only with your cortex, with your thinking mind. So that stuck energy, that life or death saving mechanism is coursing in the location of your violation. So if we take it through the like lenses of sexual trauma, you have been violated in some way in your reproductive system, but you did not release this violated energy from your reproductive system. So this energy is coursing through your veins and through your bloodstream and through your nerve tissue, and it literally becomes like this magnetic attractor. So she can attract similar thing, similar violation, so she can finish her emergency response. This is very, very important. So this energy is coursing through your pelvis, through your reproductive system, which is like this magnetic attractor, because your body is desperately trying to heal. Your body is desperately trying to just discharge this emergency response from your system. So what was happening in my body? First, I got severe herniation. My body is crying like my body has attracted the herniation so it can release this emergency response. But I didn't know that. I almost ended on a wheelchair. Then somehow through corrective exercise and tissue recovery, I have healed my disc. But a couple of months later, there I am with a chronic pelvic pain. Again, my body is crying to release this shit out. So when people say, I don't know what the hell is wrong with my body, nothing is wrong with your body. Your body is crying for help. Your body is desperately trying to release this traumatic imprint. And in that space, she's attracting these different violations or diseases or pain issues, so it has a chance to heal. It has a chance to heal. Your body wants to heal all the time. Your body wants to survive and your body wants to heal and your body wants to regenerate. It is that powerful. So when I work with my clients around chronic pain, which is very common result of unresolved sexual trauma, I'm really approaching that healing. We're approaching that healing together through the lenses that their body wants to heal. It's not just like, let's show you a sexy way of doing this or doing that. Your body wants to heal, and now we're going to create a processes and practices that actually foster the healing. So trauma is a subconscious thing that is happening in your nervous system, and it is attracting a similar violations into your life, into your body, into your health, into your relationship. It's like women find themselves to like be attracting the same motherfucker over and over again, excuse my language, right? Because it's literally like your body's cry for working this out. And the biggest challenge is that women are beating themselves up. It's like, what is wrong with me? In the case of sexual trauma, like, why the hell did I not push him away? Why the hell did I not protect myself? Where there were reasons why it didn't take place, and I'm gonna go into that very, very, very shortly. And the most important thing I want you to know is there is nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you if you can't orgasm. There's nothing wrong with you if you don't feel sexual. There's nothing wrong with you if you have hard time with intimacy. Your body is trying to heal. Your body wants to heal. So Lily says that is so interesting. Thank you for putting this out. You're very, very welcome, gorgeous. And I'm so excited. We are working together so we can really emerge out of these patterns and truly allow your body to heal at the deepest level. So the symptoms of unhealed sexual trauma are hating your body, are overeating, resulting to drugs, sex, alcohol, or avoiding sex. So there's like either too much of sex, like a hypersexuality, or no desire in sex, hyposexuality. You might have difficulty orgasming. You might be experiencing anything in the reproductive system, which is like pelvic pain, like myself, back pain, endometriosis, polycystic ovaries. Many times infertility also can be connected to this. You might be denying yourself pleasure, feeling unworthy of pleasure, feeling unworthy of receiving men's attention, men's sexual attention. You might fear sex altogether. You might have a lot of fear around penetration. One of my clients who was happily married, and she and her husband, they wanted a child, but she has embodied a lot of fear of sex. So literally this fear of sex, a fear of, even not sex, penetration, really, that was true for her. The fear of penetration made her vaginal canal closed and shut down and filled with chronic tension. And as a result, all of her pelvic floor tissues and vulva started to shut down, and she has developed a severe case of vaginismus. And pelvic floor therapy didn't work for her. Dildos did not work for her. Gynae procedures didn't work for her. It was really about helping her release this fear and create safety in her pelvic floor and safety in her sexuality. So what I believe is we need to help you understand the survival mechanisms of your nervous system. So this is a hill, and this is you can literally see a hill, and at the bottom you have a regulation living. So regulation is a place where you can digest food, you can sleep well at night, you can orgasm, you're really feeling well. All of your biological functions, by the way, orgasming is a biological function, and it's a sign of health. It's a sign of a regulated nervous system. So when you perceive threat, here on the side, you have something called Neuroception is embodied sense of threat. It's like things are scary, I'm afraid, bad things might happen, I'm in danger, right? So this is your nervous system able to perceive threat. So when you start to perceive threat, you go up the hill. The first place you go into is hypersocialization. And hypersocialization is really trying to control everything around you so you feel safe. This is where over-pleasing, like a people-pleasing, comes in. This is where excessive need to control everything comes in. It is your desire to stay safe. That is, however, happening at the subconscious level. Now, if your nervous system perceives that hypersocialization is not enough, you go up the hill, you go into the fight or flight. The fight is literally attacking, pushing, beating, and flight is running away. However, what I find, especially in the sexual trauma space, is most women don't imply the fight or flight. They go straight into freeze. They go straight into numbness. And the reason for that is, again, this is happening at a subconscious level. Especially in the case of sexual violence, your subconscious decides that, if your violator is a man who is big, your subconscious decides, like, there's no way that I can survive. There's no way I can take over his body. He's way bigger, way stronger. So going into freeze is actually very smart mechanism. So your system automatically decides that it will not succeed with this method of fight or flight. It goes into freeze. It goes from the hypersocialization into the freeze. So what does freeze look like? Freeze is immobility. It's playing dead. It's dissociation. It's leaving your body. And what I want to say, I really want to destigmatize freeze, because I see a lot of women in personal development, a lot of women done a lot of conscious work, beating themselves up when they find out that they are in the freeze state. But what I want you to know is that freeze is very smart mechanism of your body trying to protect you, trying to keep you safe, trying to keep you okay. So there is no shame about this. There is no necessary guilt about this. It is your body's survival mechanism. And many times women get stuck in the freeze state, not even knowing that they are living in a freeze state, not even knowing that this is what they are going through. Freeze is where depression lives, where chronic pain lives, where anorgasmia lives, where like no sexual desire lives. It's actually a sign of a deep freeze. And many times people create their own freeze by eating a lot, smoking, drinking, right? It's their own way of creating like this safe cocoon so they don't feel the pain, so they don't feel the charge or the discomfort or the fear. It's a safe way of creating this protection cloud. And once again, your body is going into the freeze. It's a very smart mechanism that is trying to protect you. But the second smartest thing you can do as a woman, the second smartest thing is to find a way of healing your body and getting out of freeze. And this is where trauma resolution work lives. This is where healing of the nervous system lives. So the way you get out of this, the way you get out of the freeze system is actually going down through these layers. So when I work with my clients, we actually get down into the fight or flight and train their body and train their nervous system to push off the attacker, to fight for their life, to have the freedom to run away, and really integrating those experiences in their nervous system so they can slowly and sensitively untwist the freeze and actually begin to descend down into the regulation. So before I go any further, I know I've covered a lot of ground, and I want to share with you my signature process of from trauma to turn on. I want to really open space for questions, for pieces around freeze, regulation, hypersocialization, around sexual trauma, around anything I have shared right now. It's a deep topic, and I really want to address anything that you might be sort of like chewing on right now, or you want to understand better, or you want to really maybe understand specifically in your body. Once again, this is a very smart mechanism. This is a survival mechanism of your body, but where your health lives, where your pleasure lives, where your orgasm lives, where your vitality lives is in regulation. And you're not going to get into regulation by going to counselor. You're not going to get into regulation by doing yoga and meditation. You need to address your nervous system. It is very powerful work, and it is very efficient, and it creates incredible healing responses. So I'm really excited to share with you my signature blueprint process called From Trauma to Turn On. And there are chances that you have already heard about this, you've already seen this, and that is very, very powerful, because I believe, and what I came to find both in my own healing and in healing of many of my students around the world, is that this is so empowering to understand the process and really take the narrative of, I'm broken, or I'm traumatized, or things will never change for me, to actually understand the doorway into your healing and the process of reclamation. From Trauma to Turn On, my signature blueprint is really about reclaiming yourself, reclaiming your health, your pleasure, your vitality, your sexuality. So this is it. So we have spoken about the freeze, which is on the outside of a bull's eye, numbness. So before I go into how we actually start addressing the numbness, is everything has to be done in a container of safety. Safety is this nervous system reality that has to happen in order for the neuroception to start to regulate. So instead of your brain going danger, 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 your brain is safety, and we can actually step into the healing process. So if you are in a numb state, the way we get you start feeling touch and through self-massage. So big part of the work that I do is teaching women how to massage their tissues with variety of balls. These are called the role model therapy balls. This is, I just dropped the water. This is a gorgeous ball. We do this for massaging the abdomen, the viscera, the heart, the lungs, the vagus nerve. These are massage therapist thumb, so they are very trigger point specific, and they are very nerve endings awakening specific. So let's say if there is a lot of numbness in the pelvis, right? We can go with the therapy balls in a very empowering way to actually start awakening nerve endings and start moving out of the numbness into what's called a proprioception. Proprioception is your body's ability to sense its tissue, and it is the doorway to actually getting into your healing. So when you start releasing these layers of numbness, you will begin to feel one of two things. You'll either feel pain, like it can be an emotional pain, or it can be physical pain. And when we get into the layer of pain, what's really, really important is, I call it your pain chart. is to understand the levels of pain and how to safely work with pain in your body. So in a simple language, if you have a pain and you have scale 1 to 10, where 1 is like maybe just like little nibble, little tiny bit of irritation, and 10 is an excruciating pain, with the like addressing the layers of numbness and compacting your tissues, is being at the level of 3.5 maximum. And that is while the ball is actually compacting your tissues. Now, when you complete your self-massage sequence and you complete like the ball touching your tissues, you actually want to feel better. You want to feel sense of relief, release, comfort, ease, and relaxation. And what that means is your body has obviously got an amazing release, right? And subsequently, you're creating an environment in which you're able to go deeper and deeper and deeper and create this as a lasting healing transformation. So you'll either feel pain or you will start to address and feel layers of big emotions, the shame, the fear, and the grief. Now, when you begin to access these emotions that once again are trapped in the body, the ovaries, the vagina, the pelvic floor, the cervix, they are filled with layers of emotions. We want to start feeling through and healing through the emotions in a trauma-sensitive way. What does this mean? Trauma-sensitive way is really about, first and foremost, doing it in the container of safety that cannot go anywhere. And that's why working with a guide who understands the body, who understands the nervous system, and is able to hold you through this is truly essential. You don't want to do trauma healing work by yourself, because you can get stuck into the darkness of the big emotions and just have no way of getting out. So first and foremost, it's the safety, and then what you want to start applying are things like titration, pendulation, which are very specific trauma-sensitive tools that are all about doability, that are all about doing this, feeling these emotions, healing through these emotions in as regulated state as possible. So it's not about overwhelming you. It's not about that emotion being so intense that you dissociate. No, it's doing it in a safe and small and doable way so your body can actually heal. So right now, I'm personally going through a grief process, and you'll probably not know that because here I am teaching you, empowering you, educating you, but in my own life, I'm going through a deep grieving process. And how do I do it in a way that allows me to serve you, that allows me to work with my clients, that allows me to take care of my child, that allows me to be present partner with my husband, is that I give myself every day a safe container of maybe 5 or 7 minutes to grieve, to let go, to release, to cry. There is no shame around grieving. And then when my container comes to an end, 5 to 7 minutes, I do something that allows me to feel deeply safe, and I get on with my day. And that is how you process your emotions in a trauma-sensitive way. And here is the most beautiful part. The most beautiful part is when you heal these big emotions, you actually reclaim your essence. Your essence is pleasure, is gratitude, is possibility, is hope. Every single woman, that is scientific consensus, every single woman is capable of orgasm. Orgasm is your core essence. Orgasm lives in a regulated nervous system. And when you start descending from the freeze, through the flight, through the hypersocialization into the regulated nervous system, this is what you reclaim. Pleasure. You reclaim your orgasmic capacity. You reclaim deep love for yourself and for your body. And life gets pretty amazing. Life gets pretty amazing. I literally feel in my own life, it's like 360 degrees change. And I am every single day just more and more excited about future, about my today and about future, because I have reclaimed my pleasure. And most importantly, I feel safe in my body. I feel safe as a woman. I feel safe in my sexuality. And it is this priceless freedom that no one has given to me. I had to work with my nervous system, with my guide, with my mentor to actually recreate this. And it's incredible. So if you're ready to experience a deep shift and deep healing of a lifelong trauma patterns, or maybe something minor from childhood, but you really have found yourself, you either already know you have sexual trauma, or you have found yourself somewhere in everything I have been sharing, and you're like, babes, let's do it. Let's make 2020 the year of my healing. I want to invite you to work with me. And you can work with me in one of two ways. The first option is my Flourish Academy, which is the most comprehensive online healing immersion on the planet, where you will deeply learn about your body, deeply learn about your nervous system, deeply learn about the science of healing. But most importantly, you'll actually journey through this in a really self-loving and life-affirming way, so you can re-regulate your nervous system back to health, to pleasure, to possibility and capacity. Now, Flourish Academy is also profoundly empowering. What you will find is everything you learn, plus the tools, the skills, and practices will empower you to take an extraordinary care of yourself for the rest of your life. The practices in the program are truly beautiful and powerful and make you feel exquisite inside of your body every single day. Now, the second option of working with me is my Orgasmic Body 1 month intensive. And this is especially amazing option if you're local. What that means is if you live in Ireland, even better if you live in Waterford, but it's also an online option. And in Orgasmic Body 1 month intensive, we're actually doing direct one-on-one work. So in the Orgasmic Body, I'll deeply support you in learning, in building safety in your nervous system, and I'll be creating for you a customized trauma healing plan, from trauma to turn on healing plan, that will forever change your relation with yourself, with your body, and allow you to reclaim your orgasmic nature. So option one is Flourish Academy, which is all online, is deeply healing, is comprehensive. You're going to learn tools, skills, and practices that truly allow you to foster deep healing in your body and your nervous system. Orgasmic Body 1 month intensive is very customized. You'll get direct one-on-one support from me, and I'll create a very specific process to you, to your body, to exactly where you are on your healing journey, so we can assure that it absolutely works for you. So what I would love to invite you today is to book for a free Flourishing Woman Strategy session, which you can do on a link, which is bit.ly/Flourishing Woman Strategy. It's bit.ly/Flourishing Woman Strategy. You can also see the link in the description of this video. You can simply drop me a private message. It's like, if you want to do this strategy session, you can drop me a private message. And on this free strategy session, we're going to assess your specific healing needs, assess exactly where are you on your healing journey, what's happening in your health, what's happening in your body, where are you in your mind, what kind of support you need, and together we'll really map out what is the best healing container for you. Is it Flourish Academy, or is it the Orgasmic Body 1 month intensive? They'll actually allow you to heal your body from inside out and really emerge from trauma into place of turn on, pleasure, safety, and vitality. So You can sign up for the free Flourishing Woman Strategy session on bit.ly/flourishing woman strategy. You can drop me a private message and we can map it out from there. So the last piece I want to offer is, many times in the trauma space, it is so easy to get stuck. And I've already shared with you why. The stuckness, it is this survival response in the nervous system, and it is very smart. But when we are trying to live our best life, when we are trying to love our bodies, when we are trying to feel better, when we are trying to experience orgasm and sexual pleasure, it is literally counterintuitive. Like, it's keeping us stuck in those survival responses. And what I want to invite you today is truly allow yourself to stop waiting, or allow yourself to believe that your body will never heal, your life will never be different. And instead of waiting for several months, instead of waiting for several years, I'm inviting you to step into this now. Why wait for another several months to heal your body? Why wait for another several months to address your sexuality? Why wait for another several months to live in a chronic fear and anxiety? You deserve to feel amazing. Your body is designed to thrive. Your body is designed to regenerate. Trust that your body can heal, and trust that I can help you, and allow me to help you. Book in for a free strategy session. Let's map out your healing plan, and let's allow your body to ascend into a new way of being. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you so much for watching this masterclass on replay. It's been true honor sharing this life-changing education with you. Knowing this and learning this has absolutely pivoted the course of my life. Not only it has healed my own trauma and allowed me to reclaim my sexuality and my pleasure and my orgasm, it made me fall in love with this process such deep level that I'm here with you and actually educating you and empowering you in truly the science of healing. So once again, thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you so much for allowing yourself to have this time and space to step into this. You are amazing. You are beautiful. And I am truly excited for your bodies and your sexuality opportunity to heal. It's the greatest blessing. It is the greatest gift, and it's one that changes everything.